Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. I'm Gulo from Jadi PNS, will be your host. Now we are with Earlyca Frederick, a teacher and youth and education advocate from Saint Lucia. Hello, Earlyca. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. Hi, everyone. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much, Earlyca, for joining us, and we are really excited to have you here.
I'm pleased to be here as well.
Thank you. Earlyca, could you please give us a little bit of your background?
No problem. Hi, I'm 23 years old, Earlyca Makeba Frederick. I am a teacher by profession, a youth advocate as well. I have served for many years in the community and on a national level in many facets in society. I am a firm believer of inclusivity, diversity, and integration as it is in line with my profession. And I am thrilled to be a part of what I now call my childhood dream, that is Miss Universe. And I'm on this journey. It's something that I've aspired to do since 3 years old. And so I'm very excited because it's so many stories that I have to tell, stories of myself and of my beautiful country, St. Lucia.
That's amazing that now you are a teacher.
Yes, I am. I have been for 5 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. And what inspired you to be a teacher, Earlyca?
Earlier on in life, I would often teach my little cousins on an afternoon after school, and it seemed like fate. However, when I did head over to college, I developed a different passion, a passion for law, a passion for advocating. And that diverted back to wanting to become a teacher when I was preparing for the National Carnival Queen pageant here in St. Lucia. And that is when I started reading to my little cousin. And it almost seemed as though I was natural at it. It was an innate ability that I possessed. And so, very soon after winning National Carnival Queen St. Lucia, I went to be interviewed for a teaching position. And there I am 5 years later. I am based now at an all girls school, which is very exciting because I get to mold them and teach them so much about, girls' education and pageantry, which is what I'm passionate about.
Wow. And Erika, how your background as a teacher has influenced your advocacy and inclusivity and also integration in education?
All right. Here's the thing. As a teacher, you tend to come across multiplicities in terms of learning abilities and learning styles, I should say. And so you would well understand that some kids are kinesthetic learners, some are visual, and some are auditory. And so I have been placed in a situation where I would like to see each and every one of my students thrive within that environment, though they all may possess unique abilities and variations, differences in how they learn. This has influenced me wanting to see all of them do well despite the challenges that they may experience within any learning space, not just the physical classroom. And on a personal level as well, I am from a rural community and I have witnessed many young students, young children rather, be deprived of opportunities, educational opportunities in particular. And I have seen how that directly influences social ills like crime and poverty within my community and on a national level. And I believe that I'm well placed as an educator and as a beauty queen to address some of those issues. And that is why today I stand proud using this platform to advocate for inclusivity and integration in particular.
Wow, That's amazing. And then what inspired you to take up the cause of promoting inclusivity in education, and how do you envision achieving this in St. Lucia?
We have seen on an international level kids be discriminated against because of their backgrounds, because of their, I should say, race, color, cultural background, religious background. And I believe that everybody has a place in society. Everybody can contribute in some unique, great way to society. And so, as an educator, I believe that I can work hand in hand with policymakers in particular to help address the situation, to help change laws, especially within the education system, to cater to the needs of underprivileged and deprived youth who have missed opportunities. Miss Universe, in particular, it presents the perfect opportunity to forge linkages around the globe. Me just meeting so many persons who are well placed, who are change makers within themselves, it helps me to come one step closer to achieving my goal back home in Saint Lucia. I don't think it is possible for us as a small island to just do it alone. We need to form partnerships and linkages, and that is what I'm going to use this experience to do.
Wow. Wow, that's really interesting. And Earlyca, could you share some specific initiatives or projects that you have been involved in to promote inclusivity and integration within the education system in St. Lucia?
As a teacher, first and foremost, I always when I plan my lessons, I ensure that, for example, the Creole language is, which by the way is what is our first language. Many people wouldn't know, but this originated or stemmed from slavery, this mix or amalgamation of languages. And it's a very beautiful thing. And so as a teacher, I try to make the point that the two languages, both French Creole and English, can coexist. I myself, I am a very fluent Creole speaker, and I believe I do quite well in English as well. As a matter of fact, this is what I teach all the everyday language arts, which is the English language. And I have done an immaculate job, I believe, in ensuring that my students see that I am a good model for ensuring that languages can coexist. And this also hopefully would influence others, to get on board in ensuring that integration is a thing within the school system. Technology is a big thing right now. We are in a technological age, and our kids were born to a technological era. And just by acknowledging the fact that every child is not academic, but there are kids who are, I should say, sports savvy or technologically savvy, or savvy in the music or arts area, is important to acknowledge as a teacher. And so in planning lessons, this is something that I always take into consideration, that every child's needs are met or are catered to while instructing. And I have also tried to make that positive, influence as well, or inspiration, I should say, when I participate in pageants. I do not do the stereotypical, I should say, definition of beauty. I don't think I epitomize that. I try to keep my hair short, which is what I like, and which I think enhances my facial features. And I think that it has proved to many persons that you don't have to do the normal. You can be orthodox, you can be unorthodox, and you can be unconventional when you are a beauty queen, just by being an individual who knows her worth, but who knows and recognizes that or she is different, and carrying that gracefully, and believing in themselves on the outside and on the inside, radiating in both of these ways, is something that I am a firm believer of, and I've tried to promote every day, all day long. But other than that, we are in the pipeline of creating some beautiful projects on the ground. And though I don't want to spill the beans too soon, but it's going to be very exciting. And we have seminars and workshops where we really want to get the children involved, particularly girls, because girls' education is very dear to my heart, so that everybody could see that there is a place for everybody in not just the education system, but in society. We can all thrive together.
Thanks for elaborating the ways you promote inclusivity and integration in education system in Saint Lucia. And you also involved in Choiceal Youth and Sports Council. So what is it and what are you doing?
All right. The Choiceal Youth and Sports Council is an organization that serves to do a lot of voluntary work within the community. So it's not only youth based, but it's also sports based. So we do help and reach out to not only underprivileged but youth that need our help in whatever way, whether it's funding, whether it's support. We try to provide the necessary support structures for these youth. I have served as the public relations officer. During my stint, I also served as the mobilization officer, which is a post I might say that I would have recommended on the national level, the St. Lucia Youth Council, and the National Youth Council, I should say. And this post allowed for me to be able to reach everybody in all facets of life. I was responsible for going on the ground with my other colleagues and ensuring that it was not only youth who seemed to be a part of the upper echelons of society, if you get my drift, but just youth who were engaged otherwise, and trying to get their interest and trying to make the organization seem appealing once again. I've always had that ability to reach everybody in every demographic, whether young or old or underprivileged or fortunate. And that is why I see the benefits of inclusivity. When persons feel that there is a place for them in this society and that they're not shunned, I believe that contributes directly. There is a correlation with this, with wanting to belong, not necessarily wanting to change who you are, but understanding that there is a place for you, and honing that talent that nobody probably sees or acknowledges. It has a direct correlation with getting them away from issues like crime and unemployment and all of that. And so the Choiceal Youth and Sports Council has engaged many in games nights and workshops and other activities, which really would be their safe haven, creates a safe haven for them. And once they're engaged, really and truly, there is no time to engage in activities that are, I should say, illegal or negative, because you've created that positive environment where they feel like they're not going to be discriminated against.
Thank you for also addressing the issues that are faced by the young people and how you believe they can be overcome. And also you advocate for women's empowerment. What key issues do you believe need to be addressed to promote gender equality and empower women in Saint Lucia?
I believe that every woman is powerful in her own way, in her own right, in every facet of society. my thing is, and this ties back again to inclusivity, is that we need to hone in on the family. For me, that is a sore point. It's there's there's a hurt, there's some pain that really stems from the family not being stable. And once you have, for example, a father who is absent or a mother who is being delinquent, it leads to a woman, a young woman in particular, a teenager in particular, to engage in activities that may not be the best. And you find things like, the teenage pregnancy and all of those things which have a spiral effect. And as an educator again, I would advocate for us wanting to counsel our girls more in schools so that they may understand their worth, that they may understand their value and not lessen their value when they go out into society, when they take jobs, and when they begin to date and have relationships, because the harsh reality is that it does have a domino effect, and the family is the first and the very first socialization agent. From the time a child is born, that child enters a family, and that family does have effect, whether it's stable or unstable. As much as an individual can be intrinsically motivated, it does have a very influential part to play in the upbringing of a woman and how she carries herself and what she believes in. And if we can just hone in on the family as a socialization agent, I believe that women will see themselves in a greater light.
Thank you. And as we know that Miss Universe is a platform that can bring global attention to important causes, how do you plan to leverage your title to further your advocacy for inclusivity in education and youth and women's empowerment?
Right. As I would have said earlier on in this interview, my goal is to create indelible linkages, and this platform would allow for me to do that. I also want to transcend boundaries. This is not only about Saint Lucia anymore. When I started this journey initially, I thought of Earlyca. But then I delved into it and I realized that so many persons were watching and following my journey. And I recognized that this was greater than myself. And so individuals on the outside watching, the universe is watching, I should say. And there's somebody who is going through exactly what I'm speaking to, which is discrimination and being labeled, and someone living a self-fulfilling prophecy in some part of the globe right now who is watching me. And my hope is to use this platform to not only shatter glass ceilings, but to transcend the boundaries that already exist right now, whether it's cultural, race, gender, whether it's based on, color or age. And Miss Universe is the perfect platform to do so because they themselves have been breaking away from the stereotypical pageantry rules that exist just by allowing women with kids and women who are married to participate. And I recently saw in a post that next year the age barrier is going to not be a thing. This speaks volumes. So I do believe that I am well placed, not only as an individual who has had experiences and who understands why persons need a second chance, but because I am an educator and I'm very passionate about what I do, and because I have a goal to see not only St. Lucia thrive, but this globe be a better, safer, and more enjoyable space.
All right, thank you. And Earlyca, lastly, what advice would you give to young women who aspire to become advocates for social change and make a positive impact in their communities?
I would say to them that there are many benefits of being an advocate, not only for yourself, because you're out there networking on a daily basis and meeting persons who sometimes inspire you in a way or even make you cry at the end of the day. And it touches your heart to the point where you're like, you weren't aware of all of these things happening before. There's an awareness that it creates for you. It's something that could be very fulfilling at the end of the day, and I would encourage any young woman to go that route, because not only does it benefit you on an individual level, you will become a change maker. You will become someone who has so much to contribute, not only on a local or national level, but on an international level in every single facet. And as women, we have so much to contribute. I think oftentimes we downplay our roles as women, as nurturers, as mothers, and caregivers. And this, I believe, is what we are lacking in society right now. In contemporary society, we see a lack of love, and just maybe what we need is some women change makers in the universe to make society a better place.
This is such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Earlyca, for sharing your inspiring story.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here and a pleasure having to share our story.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let's collaborate to make this world a better place. I'm Gulo from JDPNS. Thank you and see you again.